On the news, gunmen abduct scores of traders in fresh attack in Katsina State. U.S. warns citizens in Nigeria to maintain low profile as police declare red alert nationwide. And Kenyan police arrest 3 for trying to breach UK Army base. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Gunmen suspected to be bandits have abducted a number of people along Ruma village in Batsari local government area of Katsina State. Witnesses say the victims, mostly traders, were kidnapped on Sunday evening about 5 kilometers away from Gobirawa town while they were returning from the Jibia border market. The police have also confirmed the attack but failed to give a casualty figure. Spokesperson for the Katsina State Police Command, Gambo Isa, said the bandits, numbering about 60, armed with AK-47 rifles, blocked Jibia Batsari Road, stopped 2 buses and took the occupants of the vehicles into the bush. He added that a search party led by Operation Poor Father went after the bandits and succeeded in rescuing almost all the victims, with the exception of 7. He, however, adds that rescue operations are still ongoing to secure the release of the remaining traders. While still on security, the United States has cautioned Americans to reconsider traveling to or across Nigeria. This is coming days after the U.S. urged its citizens in Iran to leave the country immediately following Friday's killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in a drone airstrike in Iran. In a statement published on the website of the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, American nationals in the country were asked to stay alert in public places, including schools, hospitals, government facilities, places of worship, tourist locations, and transportation hubs. The Security Advisory, which was dated January 3, 2020, also asked them to review and alter travel routes and times to reduce time and place predictability. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has placed police commands and formations nationwide on red alert. In a communique signed by the force spokesperson, Frank Mba, the move follows intelligence reports that some domestic interests are planning to embark on massive public disturbances and sabotage over the recent killing of Iraq's Qasem Soleimani. To forestall the attacks, Mba says zonal AIGs and command commissioners of police have been directed to ensure maximum surveillance and security of lives and property across the nation. The police commanders have been directed to ensure strategic deployment of both overt and covert police operatives to ensure adequate security and safety of citizens. Mba added that foreigners, especially diplomats and diplomatic missions domiciled in Nigeria, critical national assets, and all Nigerians would be adequately protected. Well, to the Boko Haram insurgency, the presidency has asked Nigerians not to panic over the withdrawal of 1,200 Chadian troops from the Lake Chad Basin bordering the country. In a statement released on Sunday, the government said the withdrawal was in line with the mandate of the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, launched on July 1, 2016, and due to end on December 31, 2019. It added that Nigeria will be sending troops to Chad as part of a new concept against the Boko Haram insurgency. In line with the scope of the MNJTF, the 1,200 troops were recalled on Friday from a part of the northeast. Following their withdrawal, many Nigerians in Borno State started fleeing the areas managed by the Chadian troops. The withdrawal follows an announcement by the Nigerian military that troops will be withdrawn from some parts of the country starting from the second quarter of 2020 to allow state governors to take charge of their security architecture. Meanwhile, poor welfare of soldiers have been identified as one of the major challenges slowing the fight against insurgency. Speaking on TV360's flagship program, DG360, security expert Dixon Osaji urged the federal government to review the monetary compensation of troops in order to motivate them.
When it comes to battlefront, there's what we call the SHELL acronym. They need the software to survive this war. They need the hardware to survive this war. They need the environment also plays a role, because you don't fight on space, you know, a section of the Air Force that will be delivering their bombs or carrying out bombardments. Then we also need the liveware. Now, what the Nigerian government are really spending money on are equipments. Are you with me? Which are the software or hardware. But they are not looking at the liveware. The liveware is the human, is the machinery, is the man factor. If you put in more money for the man factor, terrorism will be history. Now, let me give you a statistic now. An average soldier in the war front, after 30 days, is being paid about 45,000 naira. Are you with me? As an extra allowance in exception of his salary. Now, when you bring that 45,000 naira to a day, he will be earning close to about 1,500 naira per day. When you bring that money to an hour, that means he's being paid about 142 naira per hour. Now, if the enemy's attack comes now, Deji, and the attacks last for 3 hours, you have to multiply 142 naira by 3 hours to give you about 300 or 420 naira. That means a soldier will receive 420 naira for a fierce battle that lasted for 3 good hours. That is demotivating. We need to start paying these guys well, because for you to put your life on the line, you should be well paid.
The military is doing everything possible to improve civil relations with the Nigerian populace. Chief of Defense Staff Gabriel Olonishakin said this at a collaborative meeting with the Ned Nwoko Foundation. Olonishakin said improving civil relations becomes important in the light of misconduct by few elements in the military, which is projecting a wrong perception of the force. Tunjioye now reports.
This is the delegation from the Defense Headquarters representing the Chief of Defense Staff Gabriel Olonishakin. This delegation is led by Rear Admiral Obed Ngalabak, who is the Chief of Defense Civil-Military Cooperation. They are meeting with Ned Nwoko Foundation to collaborate in the fight against malaria and other childhood diseases. The military says the collaboration is important in order to create a positive awareness to the civil populace. Ngalabak, who admitted the misconduct of some military personnel in recent time, said such misconduct by few men is portraying the military in bad light. But the military is against any act of misconduct or abuse against law-abiding citizens.
We are aware of the immense work you are doing in combating malaria, not just in Nigeria, but all across Africa. And we know that malaria is the #1 killer. It actually kills much more than AIDS and many other sicknesses that we are aware of. I have lost a sister personally because of malaria, so I know how it feels. It's a devastating disease, and the fight you are doing in combating it is very heartwarming, and the Chief of Defense Staff is aware of it, and he said we should extend our gratitude to you, his gratitude rather to you, for what you are doing. The military has in recent time come to realize that the military is always doing things in a closed-up form, and there is, yes, in isolation, and there is need for the people we are fighting for to even know what we are doing. It is because they don't know what we are doing. It's like a father who leaves home every morning, goes to work, fights, getting money, come back, and the children will say, why is daddy always away? The whole idea is to make the civilians see, understand what we are doing, why we are doing, and to get them come close to us and let them know that we are not from outside space. We are Nigerians. We are fighting to keep Nigeria one. They are our brothers and sisters. We are part of them.
The chairman Ned Nwoko Foundation, Prince Ned Nwoko, says creating a new department by the military to deal with civil relationship is a good initiative that will make the people understand the military more and be of assistance in combating both internal and external aggression. He said the foundation is focused on eradicating malaria in Africa and ready to collaborate with the military to take the campaign to every nook and cranny of Nigeria.
As you said about the fight against malaria, for me this is a very important project. The whole project is hinged on two approaches, two clear approaches. One is to deal with malaria on a short term, and the other one is on a long term. Simply put, the short term, for me, might sound incredible, might sound unrealistic, might sound impossible, but nothing is impossible. We are looking at eradicating malaria in Africa, but starting with Nigeria. There are many countries in Africa, 54. 6 of them are already malaria-free. And we're trying to do what they did. So if they can do it there, we can also do it here. So the first one will involve fumigating Nigeria. Fumigating Nigeria will involve everybody.
The foundation, which announced a $750,000 research grant for malaria cure, said the 5 benefiting universities will be announced by the end of January. From Abuja, Tunji Oye, TV360 News.
Senior pastor and general overseer of Citadel Global Community Church, Tunde Bakari, has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to sustain his legacy by picking a successor before 2023. Addressing his congregation on Sunday, Bakari said that by establishing a system of succession, Buhari would join the League of World Leaders who planned ahead for their countries. The cleric was the running mate of Muhammadu Buhari in the 2011 presidential elections in Nigeria.
As the government of President Muhammadu Buhari ushers us into the second decade of the 21st century, the third pivotal objective of governance should be to build a strong post-Buhari legacy facilitated by accurate succession. In this regard, Nigeria must learn from some of the best succession examples in recent history. Of note is the legacy of Deng Xiaoping, a second-generation Chinese leader who laid the foundation for today's China. Deng Xiaoping flagged off the 4 modernizations program, which searched around the country for leaders who, in his words, were revolutionary, younger, more knowledgeable, and more specialized. He was not intimidated by those who are more intelligent than him. In 3 decades, that program gave China a succession of leaders who piloted China's economic transformation, including the current President Xi Jinping. Without their foresight, we will not be running to China today to finance our short-sightedness. We must also learn from Nelson Mandela, who stepped aside after 1 term, but now without positioning the likes of Thabo Mbeki and Cyril Ramaphosa. We must learn from the success story of Singapore, whose former Prime Minister, Goh Chok Tong, once said, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew has always emphasized political succession. And when I took over likewise, I planned for succession.
The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, has distanced himself from a former Senator Shehu Sani, who allegedly used his name to solicit for 4 million naira bribe. Sani, who is currently in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, allegedly approached a car dealer, one Sani Dauda, and purportedly demanded the sum of 4 million naira to give to the CJN. The money was intended to settle some 4 unnamed judges so they could compromise justice in a case that is pending in court. However, in a statement signed by Director of Press and Information at the Supreme Court, Festus Akonde, the CJN said he has never seen or had any form of encounter or interactions, either directly or remotely, with Senator Sani. The CJN then vowed to take appropriate legal steps should ongoing investigations confirm that the ex-lawmaker indeed attempted to use his name to collect money from the said car dealer. Well, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it would review the criminal case of alleged double registration against Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello at the end of his tenure. Bello had allegedly registered as a voter twice in 2011 and 2017. According to the Electoral Act, anyone caught for double registration would be prosecuted and, if found guilty, would either be convicted to 1 year in prison or pay a fine of 100,000 naira or both. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Voters Education and Information Committee, Festus Okoye, explained that the Kogi governor is currently shielded by the immunity clause, which protects him against any form of prosecution. He noted that at the expiration of the governor's immunity, At the end of his tenure of office in November 2023, they would reopen the issue of the double registration. 3 INEC staff were indicted in the case of the governor's double registration. At the end of the investigations, the 2 of the officials were dismissed, while an assistant director among them was suspended. News now will continue in just a moment. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Let's now talk business. Oyin Adekunle is standing by with details. It's over to you, Oyin.
Well, thank you very much, Fidelia. Now, increased electricity charges on consumers will take effect from the 1st of April 2020. And this is according to the Electricity Distribution Companies, DISCOs. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, had in 2019 announced the review of the multi-year tariff order of 2015 and the minimum remittance order, stating that there will be a slight hike in the cost of electricity in Nigeria. In a statement issued on Monday to clarify the tariff review, the Association of Nigerian Electricity Distribution's umbrella body of the DISCOs said the hike will cater for tariff shortfalls, which shall be gradually passed on to the consumer until it is fully completed by the end of 2021. Financial analyst and economist Paul Alaje has advised federal government to seek alternative means of generating income other than taxes. Alaje said with rapid population growth and poverty level, the imposition of taxes will take an adverse toll on the labor market. The analyst also decried the overdependence on the federal government for Nigeria's infrastructural development and economic growth.
Economy itself is said to be over close to $400 billion. But when you look at our numbers and the resources we have, we should not be doing less than $1 trillion economy. That is what we should have. And countries that are very close to our size, so a bit more than our size, but might not even have the kind of resources we have, they're already doing $1 trillion economy. What can you generate from an economy that is only $400 billion? And when you look at distribution of income, according to different authorities, starting from National Bureau of Statistics to UNDP and even World Bank at some point, when you look at different releases we have, you see that almost half of Nigeria are living below poverty line. So you are left with the remaining half. Of the remaining half, not all of them constitute labor force. When you introduce taxes to people with high virtuous circle of poverty and low income, what you see is that less and less will remain in a job because entrepreneurs will adjust because they want to mix tax liability. It will affect labor directly. More and more people become unemployed. And you can check the figure from National Bureau of Statistics. Unemployment figure has been on the rise steadily. In spite of the situation of several efforts, government is trying to combat poverty, bringing different agricultural programs. CBN is doing its best with NPR and MPC through NPR and other rates. But it has not impacted so much in revenue because the economy structure itself is wrong. It is wrong because most of us have put so much requirement on federal government, not knowing that there are more than just one government in Nigeria. We have, in fact, 36 government plus one, which is FCT.
Oil prices rose a further 2% on Monday as rhetoric from the United States, Iran and Iraq fanned tensions in the Middle East after the killing of a top Iranian general. Brent crude futures rose to a high of $70.74 a barrel, up $1.43 from Friday's settlement. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude also soared to $64.15 a barrel, up $1.10. The gains extended Friday's more than 3% surge after a U.S. airstrike in Iraq, heightening concerns that a widening Mid-East conflict that could disrupt oil supplies. According to the Energy Information Administration, as of Friday, U.S. crude export stocks fell by their most since June as exports exceeded 4 million barrels per day for the first time in history. We'll take a short break here and return with stock market review. Please stay tuned. The bulls are in full command of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today. It's all been gained since the market opened for the year, and today isn't any different. At the close of trading activities, investors gained 179 billion naira as the market cap edged higher from 13 trillion naira to 13.198 trillion naira today. And crucial market indicators also rose by 1.38%. That's for today. Market breadth also remained positive with 29 gainers against 13 losers. And equities in the financial sector received a large amount of market focus and stock activity today, and consequently, there was lesser sell-offs and the volume of trade decreased by about 100 million worth 5.350 billion naira today. That's more than 3.7 realized in previous session, and that explains why it was a bullish market today. And Dangote Cement comfortably sat on leading the gainers today with 4 naira gain. Flour Mill also chalked up gains in the value of its share price, going from 19 naira 75 kobo in previous session to 21 naira today. And we also see that a difference of 1 naira made the difference for Nascan Allied, closing at 13 naira 95 kobo today, while Guarantee Trust Bank also made a modest gain of 10 kobo, yes, that's from 30 naira, 10 kobo to 31 naira today. It was also, let's now move to the other side. That's on the converse side. We see that Seplat is leading the pack of losers today, and Seplat, MTN, as well as Unilever and PZ Cushons all falling today, making combined losses of 4 naira and 85 kobo. And onto the foreign markets today, we see London stocks are actually falling 0.62%. Almost predictable, because we see that between the conflicts between US and Iran is escalating further following the killing of the top Iranian general, I must say. And it's pretty much the same thing, the same mood all around. Dow Jones and Nikkei are also down 0.44% and 1.91% for the Nikkei. And that's it from this side. It's back to you, Fidelia.
Well, thank you very much, Owen, for that review. To the foreign scene, Kenyan police have arrested 3 men who attempted to break into a British Army training camp in Laikipia, the country's central region. Police said the break-in attempt, which was captured on a security camera, failed, and the 3 men were subsequently arrested. They are being questioned by anti-terrorism officers. The arrest came around the same time that the Al-Shabaab extremists attacked the Manda Bay airfield, a coastal military base close to the Somali border, killing 3 U.S. military personnel. Al-Shabaab has vowed retribution on Kenya for its troops' presence in neighboring Somalia to counter the extremist group. And in sport, Ashley Barty has retained her world #1 spot in the first WTA ranking of 2020. The 23-year-old enjoyed a stellar 2019, winning the French Open and the WTA final on her way to becoming the first Australian women's #1 since Yvonne Cowley in 1976. She is also aiming to become the first Australian to win her home Grand Slam since Christy O'Neill in 1976, after taking part in tournaments in Brisbane and Adelaide. The Australian Open is due to commence later in January 2020. Others in the rankings include Caroline Pliskova in 2nd place and former world #1 Simona Halep in 3rd place. And that is on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.